Hello and welcome to Metal Vice, a podcast where we talk about all things music.
Well, the things we care about.
Right, which is mainly metal music and live music. I'm one of your hosts, Brian, joined by my other host,
Karen.
And Karen, what's today's topic about?
We're going to talk about Rockfest 2023.
Yep, Rockfest 2023 in Cadott, Wisconsin, the summer festival we chose to go to this year. That was over July 13th to the 15th, with July 12th being a preview night.
Yes.
So not in that date range, but yeah, that's when it was. The ticket prices we paid for were the GA lawn, and by the time we got it, it's a tiered pricing system, I believe. So the earlier you buy it, the cheaper they are going to be. Whenever we bought them, the tickets we paid for were $144.53 for the 3-day festival.
Okay.
Not horrible for a 3-day festival.
No, really it's not. That's actually a pretty good price.
Yeah, and I guess we didn't even mention the headliners. For the headliners here, we had Pantera, Slipknot, and Godsmack.
Yep.
So pretty good for those three bands.
Yep.
Additionally, on top of this, we bought a parking pass, $25 for a 3-day pass, as well as this one was set up a little weird where you can buy individual pit passes for bands that you liked.
Yep.
To get down in the actual GA area for the pit. We did that for Wage War.
Yes.
It was $20 with $2 in fees, $1.21 in tax, and then $7.75 for shipping of the physical ticket. We don't have any fees or tax listed for the actual ticket. I think it's just all sort of rolled into one.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, this was an interesting festival for sure.
Yes.
Let's start with maybe how we got into this and why we chose this. So I guess before even doing that, we are trying to do one festival a year at least and sort of bounce around between what ones we go to. At least we've talked about that in the past.
Yeah, we've talked about doing that because last year we went to Upheaval. This year we did Rockfest. Next summer we might not be doing one.
We'll see how things work out, but we might not. Yeah, next summer.
And then the following summer we might do one in a special way.
Yeah, and it's also interesting because, I mean, we also did Milwaukee Metal Fest this year, so it's kind of the second one.
Yeah.
I always forget that we did that as a festival this year.
Yeah, I guess because, I mean, even last year we did, like, Denver Beer Metal Fest, or Decibel Beer Metal Fest in Denver. But I guess in my mind, like, when I think of festivals, this is kind of like what I'm thinking, like, outdoor 3 days.
The June, July timeframe.
Yeah.
And I guess Milwaukee Metal Fest was the end of June or the beginning of June?
It was May. The end of May. The last
end
weekend
of May. Okay.
Yeah.
So right outside of that timeframe. But yeah, I agree. I think like the outdoor ones, Milwaukee Metal Fest was at the rave, which was all inside. So
yeah.
But yeah, so this was the one we picked this year to try to go to and check out. And we want to, like I said, go to one a year and bounce around, check them all out because there's a lot out there.
There are, yeah.
But why did we pick this one?
We picked this one because our friend's band was playing Thrash of the Titans on the tribute stage. So they reached out to us to kind of say, like, hey, we're doing this. If you want to check it out, like Pantera's headlining. And we're like, sure, why not? So we kind of jumped on it right away as soon as we found out that, which was like January of this year.
Yeah, thereabout.
Yeah. So even when we jumped on it, like VIP was sold out, all the pit passes were sold out, or the all-day pit passes were sold out.
Which there's not many of those. There's no way there's many of those.
There can't be very many.
Maybe 50 or so.
I don't know. I don't want to even put a number on it because I don't know how that would work.
And we found out while being there at this one, like you could reserve your area. So like there's the reserved lawn and the VIP area that if you bought this year for next year, you could lock in your seat already. So that's why those are already sold out for next year even. So when we got them, that's why like our tier was like the 3rd or 4th tier up, I think. But yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, so that's how we found out about it. I mean, I had seen, or I knew about it last year because Disturbed and Avatar were also there.
Oh, were they? Okay.
Yeah, because they played Upheaval as well, which I kind of noticed with so this weekend, it was Rockfest, Upheaval. So Rockfest in Wisconsin, Upheaval in Michigan, and Incarceration in Ohio were all the same weekend. And it almost seemed like a lot of the bands that were here were at those two as well.
Yeah, we did pick up on that last year too, of just looking around of like what the lineup is for one festival not necessarily the same day, but a lot of the bands will be going to those festivals. So like,
Yeah, I mean, it can't be the same day because you're at.
well, no, I'm sorry. Slipknot and who else played?
Pantera.
Well, no, on Friday. Jinjer, were they on the same day as Slipknot?
Yeah.
So Slipknot and Jinjer played the same day at this festival. The very next festival, it might be Slipknot's on a different day than Jinjer type thing.
I see what you're saying.
So like you're not going to see Slipknot and Jinjer necessarily on the same day, but you're going to possibly more than likely see them at that same they bounce around between the festivals.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
So it's once one festival announces, you kind of get the idea of like, all right, what it's going to be like for all of them. There might be some differences in like headliners. Bigger festivals like the Danny Wimmer ones get different headliners, for instance, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why we picked this one. Going into it, also we saw that there were lawn chairs allowed.
Yes, and Upheaval had lawn chairs last year, which was a very big dislike of ours.
Yeah, that was like the thing that we would point to and be like, this festival was not good because of lawn chairs, and we hated that. The lawn chair feels so much. I remember walking out the last day of Upheaval and seeing the lawn chairs in the garbage.
Yeah.
People bought fucking lawn chairs for this and then threw them away. Like they don't take them home.
Yeah,
like,
I remember walking to the festival so this is in Michigan, but walking to the festival, there's like a Dollar General
or something along that way. Yeah. And outside they had a box of lawn chairs.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, like the cloth ones that go in the little bags. And I was just like, so even like the Dollar General knew that people would buy those cheap lawn chairs and just throw them away at the end. Well, maybe not everybody threw them away, but.
Yeah, but while we didn't like the lawn chairs at Upheaval, they did have sort of their own designated section.
They did, yeah. There was like a line that they couldn't put a lawn chair past.
Yeah.
Like where this one was a little bit different.
You had the like closest to the stage was standing GA only. Yeah. Then there was a line where only lawn chairs.
Yeah. So at Upheaval, I started talking about Rockfest as well. Just to keep it straight, at Upheaval, there was standing GA up by the stage, and then there was a line where the lawn chairs were. That's what you're mentioning.
Yep.
But here at Rockfest, it was lawn chairs and then standing room.
Yes. Yeah, behind the lawn chairs. Yeah. And the thing I didn't like at Upheaval, I think that kind of pissed me off, is people would bring lawn chairs, sit in them, and then when the band would start on the main stage, they'd get up from their lawn chair and go up front. And it's like, what the fuck? You can't have the best of both worlds. Like, either use your goddamn lawn chair or get the fuck out.
Yeah, like Disturbed last year, all the lawn chairs were empty.
Yeah.
Well, 95% of them were empty. But then they're still sitting there. And it's like, I wanted to see Disturbed. Why do I have to stand behind lawn chairs to be able to see Disturbed? So,
and this one was different where people would show up with their lawn chair down and like that was their spot.
Yep.
They would go to the second stage, third stage and whatnot, right? But for the main stage, they'd come back to their lawn chair and this was their spot. I fucking hated it. It was so fucking horrible.
Yeah, I remember. So when this was announced, I remember seeing that lawn chairs were allowed, and I remember telling you, like, we had already bought our tickets, but I remember telling you, like, they allow fucking lawn chairs.
Yeah, and a part of me is like, it wasn't fun at Upheaval, but whatever, it will be fine. I'll enjoy this just fine. But no, it was a completely different story for this one.
Yeah. Let's get into the festival.
Yeah. Preview night. We got there Wednesday. We drove up, got up normal time, I guess. Drove up from Chicago. It was like a 6-hour drive thereabout?
Like 5 hours, but yeah, probably took a 6.5 after stopping.
And we got a lot of rain, really heavy downpour on the way up.
Yeah, like even in Chicago that night there was like tornadoes and stuff. So I mean it was pretty bad weather all the way up there. And we just followed it up there. It wasn't like, because sometimes if you're driving you can pass it or like it's just for a little bit, but it was the entire drive.
Yeah, but get up to our hotel, check in, then we go check out preview night. And the venue grounds, this is a camping festival also. I don't know if we've mentioned that yet.
Oh, we did. I don't think we did, but yeah, so there was lots of campgrounds.
And so I guess going into it, before you even get to the actual festival, going into it, I kind of expected also that we would not have the absolute greatest experience because we chose not to camp. Like, it seems like this type of thing, the experience would have been enhanced if we had camped.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah.
Because even after the headliners which their sets started really fucking late to begin with, but it's a camping festival, so why not? But after them, at like 1, 2 o'clock, there were still music acts going on.
Yeah. Like I remember asking our friend if they were going to stay in a hotel or camp. And I was like, we're not camping.
Right.
But
I don't,
maybe we should have.
Yeah, looking back, it would have been better if we camped. And looking at future festivals as the camping one, I think we're going to lean closer to the camp.
Yeah, we'll camp it. If we choose to go, like Blue Ridge in Virginia is a camping festival, we will camp at that one. Now, I think Louder Than Life might be camping as well, but there's like hotels right there.
And that's a good point because the hotel for this one was 30-minute drive to the venue ground.
Yeah.
And we left the hotel. We knew it was going to be a 30-minute drive. Typed in the address to Siri. She directed us, took us down these like country-ass back roads.
Yeah.
But it reminded me a lot of Iowa.
Yeah.
With one notable exception. There was some fucking bear just out in the middle of there.
It was a bear. We were kind of amazed because we've never seen a bear before, ever.
Not in the wild, yeah.
Not in the wild, yeah. Like at a zoo or something.
Yeah.
I've seen a bear, but never in the wild. And I remember just driving, and I saw its head pop up and, like, walking through the field. And then I was like, there's a bear. And you're like, nah. And as we got closer, I'm like, no, it's a dog. It's a dog. Like, just one of those big dogs.
Yeah.
And then we get, nobody's behind us, so we, like, kind of just go slowly up to it. And, like, as we come up, it just, like, stands up on its hind legs and, like, looks at us.
Very crepuscular, just, like, looking at us like, what's going on over here?
Yeah, like, what are you doing? You got anything for me?
Yeah.
What's going on?
And then just ducked down and went away.
Yeah. And then we drove off.
We did get, on our way out of the preview night, we stopped one of the security people or one of the staff and asked them how do we get out of the parking lot. Like, do we come back up through the same way? And they're like, no, you got to go through this way. And they're telling us how to get back to the hotel. And he's like, how'd you get here? And we explained how we got there. And then we were like, oh, and we saw a bear. And he just sort of like brushed it off. He's like, oh, yeah, they're here.
Yeah.
But watch for deer.
Yeah, watch for deer.
Which, growing up in the Midwest, that was how you always said goodbye to people. It was always like, all right, drive safe, watch for deer. Like, that's the line you use when you say goodbye.
Yeah. But it was kind of funny that, like, we were so excited about seeing a bear, and he was just like, okay.
So what? How about deer? Those are scary.
Yeah, like, those will run into your car.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I just thought that was funny. A little side note. But getting into the venue, then I guess we did eventually. That wasn't too far from the venue, like maybe a mile from the venue.
Maybe, yeah, because like we just got to that stop sign and then turned, and then you're at the venue. So
Yeah.
I mean, that bear was really close to the campgrounds.
Yeah. And you pull into this parking lot. There's like 4 gates where everybody's pulling into. It was preview night, so everybody was also getting like their wristbands and their like will call stuff and their little badges for their cars. Yeah, you got to
Like
stick
raise
it
the
up.
roof?
No, like stick it on your window.
That was just funny how you were like,
So it was a little bit of a long wait getting in that first night, but it moved pretty smoothly.
yeah, like even we didn't need anything from will call, and that's the line technically we got in. And I was like kind of anxious because I'm like, we fucked up. We're probably supposed to be in like the far lane or something, but they really didn't care. They were just like, cool.
They scanned your parking pass. They scanned your wristbands right then and there at that gate, and then they're like, all right, go follow the people. They'll direct you to a spot, and you go down there and you park in a field like a normal like country parking.
Yeah, like it really reminds me of State Fair, like how you're just like, well, for us, for like the Iowa State Fair, like you're just driving into
a big field,
like field grass, whatever, and park there. Yeah.
Also in the middle of this parking lot was like this carny ride that like spun you upside down, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, it was like a pendulum, and then finally it like went upside down.
Yep. It was only like $10 to do. We didn't do it, but yeah, we saw.
I would not have done that.
Watched it a few times for people.
Yeah.
And then also like all around you is the campgrounds. But walked up from there into the venue. I think it was like gate 9 or something.
Yep. We entered through gate 9, so our whole perspective will be from gate 9.
Yeah. But you walk through that gate, and then there's sort of the who's on top is to your left. But if you keep going straight, there's to your right of that building. It's sort of a little building structure that was covered, 2 walls on either end. So like the stage would be on one side of the wall. The back side, directly behind the stage, was like the bar area. So that was, if you walk in through gate 9, that's going to be on your left. On your right was the shirt shop.
I think it was just the shirt shop. Yeah.
Basically, the merch for
Rock
this
Fest.
festival.
Yeah, for Rock Fest merch, not like band merch.
No,
but-
not band merch.
Yeah.
So each band would have their own merch sort of area at each stage.
Yeah.
So also on the Who's on Top stage, there was like a little structure where they had the main headliner merch, and then the other bands had smaller booths next to the stage.
Yep.
Porta potties all over the place back there. Also, they had for men only. They had troughs. They had like built these little structures for troughs. The one up there, I think, was a new one. I heard people talking like, "Oh, they built a new trough up here," or something like that. And it was kind of cool because they had two-way glass, where from the outside you can look in at the guy's peeing. Like it was from the neck up type thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I went in there and used it. I was a little disappointed that it was just like a mirror. I was looking at myself. I was like, oh, I want to look at the crowd while I urinate. If they get to look at me, why can't I look at them type thing?
Yeah. When I saw that, I honestly thought it was like a window.
Okay.
Not like a two-way glass, but a window. And obviously I never went in because
Yeah.
I don't use troughs. But I thought that it was because like it's right next to the stage. So I was like, oh, is this so like people can go in and pee and not like miss the band? But if you're looking at yourself in a mirror, then
Yeah.
it's more probably just for fun giggles.
Yeah, and if you follow this, there's like a little road that you can follow down, and it kind of winds around, and that takes you to the edge of basically the perimeter of the festival grounds. There's another entrance there we never utilized.
Yeah, I think that's for the other campground.
It could be, yeah.
Like the one that's across the street.
Well,
like,
when we drove in, I remember seeing the entrance for that one. The first night we drove in.
No, I meant for the people who are staying in that campground to use that gate.
Could be, yeah.
Okay. Because like for us to use it, we would have to leave the perimeter and then come through that gate.
Yeah, yep.
So.
But then if you take that down, it kind of starts to go down the hill from there if you follow that path. So.
And when we say hill, it's just like a little slant.
Yeah, and like a little slant.
Yeah, it's not like a upheaval hill.
Yeah, so it's a right turn. You're going to be bending right as you walk down this hill. Bunch of merchants selling different items, hats, shirts, blankets, whatever, really, rings. Lots of different little merchants there. And then some food vendors, a soda vendor, water vendor. And that takes you all the way down the hill to the Jack's tribute stage. More porta potties down that way as well. Another trough. But the Jack's tribute stage, which is where we wanted to see our friends at Thrash. So now you're at the bottom. If you turn around, go right again because you're going in basically a giant circle. It's just a giant rectangle. These grounds are. You get the main stage, which the setup of the main stage, normal, standard stage, but the pit is like right there. A very small pit with sort of catwalks over.
Yeah. And you're like under the stage. Like the stage isn't like in front of you with like a barrier. It's like you're in a pit.
Yeah.
Like and looking up at the stage like this.
Yep. And behind that pit you had like benches, like built-in benches into the ground, sort of Ampa style-ish, where it was going up just a little bit of a slope. Your sound booth was right there behind that, and then you had your GA lawn or your reserve lawn.
Yep.
Which had on the grass, but they had like a little wooden fence that was blocking it off. And then your GA lawn outside of that fence.
Yeah, which was full of lawn chairs.
Yep. Keep going. Next, on the other side of the main stage, there's a little hut that's where the main merch would be for the bands later on, as well as this sort of elevated structure.
Yeah. I don't even know how to like say that, but yeah, it was like built up on stilts kind of.
Yeah.
With like stairs.
Like a little platform. There were stairs going up to it, but it was covered. They had like a bar up there. I think they have like comfy seats as well.
Yeah.
It's like
you could see like couch things or like outdoor furniture that's
like
couch like. Yeah.
It's like the top tier lounge, I think they called it, or something. I can't remember what that area is, but it was more of a loungy feel to that area.
Which I think was like the VIP or ultimate VIP.
Yeah, they're top VIP.
Yeah.
But it provided a cool shade area that a lot of people would hang out under there. I noticed throughout the festival.
I noticed all the bugs at night, and I'm like, oh, because like they had lights, like actual lights.
Yeah.
And like the bugs just like were.
Oh yeah, you pointed that out one night.
Yeah, it's like I don't know if I would want to be up there.
Yeah. Following that though, you get to the other stage, the boneyard stage. where they had giant skeletons on the outside.
It was decorated cool.
Yeah. And on the inside, it was little skeletons hanging in the rafters playing like yard games and shit.
Yeah. You didn't mention, but at the Jack's tribute stage, the decoration was like records and like album covers.
Yeah.
Which was really cool because it was just like album or like records like hanging down, like vinyl hanging down, and then on the wall was like I think they were painted on board, but it was like album covers,
like posters almost.
Oh yeah, maybe posters. I thought they were album covers.
I think most of them were, but it was like poster sized.
Oh, okay.
Is how I took it. Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, Boneyard. Sorry,
Boneyard.
I took us back.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. So now you're at the bottom, at the other edge of the festival. So where we were talking about that other entrance way up top there, you're basically at a diagonal now from that. So you start heading back up the hill. More food merchants, more merchants when you get closer to the top, leading out to another exit. And then if you... Oh, there's another stage there too.
Yeah, there's a stage halfway through.
Loud and Local stage. Yep. All these side stages are basically the same thing. Like I mentioned, it was a front wall, back wall, a ceiling, and then just open side walls for people to come in and out of.
Well, the Loud and Local and the Jack's Tribute have like wood on one side where you can't like walk through it.
So it's like a 3-walled.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The Loud and Local also had swings.
They did,
hanging, these massive little swings. A lot of people were hanging on those and swinging back and forth. So each stage had its own vibe, its own feel, and its own sort of aesthetic.
Yeah. I liked how the stages were set up. Honestly, I liked that there was a structure because it did rain a lot this weekend, and also I liked the structure because it allows you a chance to get out of the sun for a little bit. Yeah. Because sometimes with festivals, and that's why I like to do VIP, like when we say Riot Fest that we go to, I like doing that because it's like in a shaded area. There's like a shaded tent and stuff like that. So it just gives you that little bit of chance to get out of the sun, drink some water,
cool off a little bit,
and then go back out into the festival. So.
Yeah. And then at the top, now we're sort of back at the top of the venue where we started. We're walking back towards Gate 9 where we entered. There's more shops. There's another elevated sort of structure. You said it was for like chewing tobacco type stuff?
Yeah, so both I don't know the company. It's like ZYN or something. That's probably not right. I don't know tobacco companies very well. But it was... The only reason why I pointed it out was the Loud and Local stage, and then there was that stage, or that structure, and there was another structure that was like for pouches as well. It's like chewing pouches.
Okay, yeah.
But anyways, my whole thing was, you don't really see advertisements for like tobacco anymore. Yeah. And that's the only reason why I pointed it out, was like, these are like sponsored, because the other stages were like Jack Daniels, Budweiser, Bud Light, that sort of thing. And then these are like chewing pouches.
Yeah, it was just like a vendor that was there.
It was. Yeah, it is. Like, nothing about it. I just pointed it out because
you don't see it often.
Yeah.
The one thing I do remember about that is the first day, so Thursday when we get there, they were doing yoga outside, which was kind of
I think they did yoga like twice in the morning, or like twice a day, like once in the morning and once at like 3 o'clock or something. And then they also had like painting at one of those stages, which we never did either. There was a lot that we didn't do that we could have done.
Which again, it's a camping festival, so like get up early and do some yoga, hang out and do like metal themed yoga or rock themed yoga. We've done Doom yoga here in Chicago, which is a lot of fun. So I don't know, it was interesting for sure. Mm-hmm. But following that, you have more merchants. I think the Army had like a booth and shit and whatnot.
There was like the puff bag things that you like put air in that you can like make into a couch or whatever. There was like a bracelet with a guitar, or like I guess it was like guitar strings, and then
a bunch of different merchants and all that over there.
I'm trying to think of everything that was over there.
But then getting up right out, now you're basically back at that the shirt shop. Right outside of there, they had a bunch of like shower head misters, so you can turn that on and get misted out with cool water, as well as spigots to refill refillable water, which is really cool to have refillable water. Yeah. But that's sort of the main grounds if you're going, walking through Gate 9 and turn left and just keep going all the way around.
Yeah, like, would that be clockwise? No, I don't know. Anyways,
And then there was also a bunch of other stuff going on throughout the grounds as well. There
There
was a
was.
little booth with hammocks.
Yep, with like shade cover things on them,
Yep.
or
yep,
like, I mean, just fabric to make shade cover.
Yep.
Um,
A freak show type thing.
there was a freak show. Yep, there was yard games.
a lot of different yard games. That was kind of fun.
And then like photo areas, like they had like a big chair, a wooden like
Devil horns.
that you could take your photo in, and then like a picture frame that you were to take your photo in.
Yeah, you would stand on the other side, have somebody take it. It had like Rockfest 2023 on it, and behind you was the main stage.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. Like we never did.
Yeah.
Again, we never did that, but
And then murals. There was a mural, somebody painting
was a
one of
mural.
those as we went,
Yep.
which is kind of cool. And like behind that, people would sign their name, and then the last day they would sign the mural side as well.
yeah, there was a lot. I mean, I attribute this not only a festival, but like kind of like a fair atmosphere as well. Like just of like things to do. Like,
yeah.
it's not like the whole time you're standing or sitting watching a band. Like there's other things that you could be doing as well.
Yeah, and that kind of gets into the whole thing of we didn't get the full experience because we chose not to camp.
Right. I think if we camped, it would be a lot different because one, we'd probably be staying up till 2 a.m.
Yeah, we'd see the bands.
And then you're right there, so then you can go back at noon when it starts, or 11:30 or whatever when it starts, and then like kind of just do all the little things the whole weekend. Where like some days we didn't get there till 2 or later. So
yeah, and this kind of also thing ties in a little bit to something you've brought up a lot of the parking. Like once you're there, you're there.
Yeah, that's a big thing for me. Is like because they scan your band and your parking pass like as you go in the gate, and then you're there. You're on the grounds, so you could technically go to your car. I mean, we did. We went to our car, not technically, but so even if you aren't camping, you could make it even more. Like we saw a guy with a grill on his tailgate of his truck.
There was definitely a lot of tailgating going on throughout the, like people had little tents, not
like
tents, the awnings that they put up and like just hang out, and because you could hear the second stage and the main stage play pretty well from out there.
Yeah, and like, I mean, we didn't take lawn chairs at all, but if we did take lawn chairs, I would utilize them out by our car.
Yeah.
Just because of how our car's set up, like we don't really have like a tailgate or anything to sit on. And just, I mean, we did have beer and soda and water in the car, but I mean, you could do lunch, you could do dinner, you could do anything just to kind of hang out.
Yeah, definitely. And that was kind of cool to get out there, and like there was once when it rained, we went out and sat there for a little bit waiting for the rain to pass.
Yeah, and changed.
Right.
Yeah, which was kind of nice. Again, because then you're not like where you're sopping wet clothes all day or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's the same with the campers. Like if you had a camper there or like a tent or something, in the middle of the day, you could go take a rest, or we saw people sleeping in their cars too.
Yeah,
I mean, napping, I guess.
And that's a good point. Like if we were camping, we would have done that, but we would have gone back to our camp spot.
Yeah.
So luckily we did get to leave the grounds to go to our car and able to re-enter and all of that fun stuff. So we got a little bit of that experience, but we didn't get like the let's stay up till, because I think you also said there's like signs posted somewhere like you're not allowed to sleep in your car or something like that.
I saw that on the website that there's no camping in your car.
Yeah.
So I think like if basically what they're trying to do is like not what I think that they're trying to do is like so that you don't pay the $25 and then just like sleep in your driver's seat or whatever like overnight.
Right.
So
because we didn't look at the camping prices, what it cost.
Yeah.
Because we weren't going to do it. So, but there was a charge for that too. So.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, because you have to pay for the campsite and everything. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know how strict they are because I did see people with like blankets over their windows and stuff like that. So I'm like, how strict are you on that? So, but anyways.
Yeah, and I mean, so that's sort of the grounds. We went there on the preview night to basically check out the grounds and get a lay of the land type thing.
Right. We heard the music, but we didn't like stand at a stage and watch anything.
Yeah, we did not. But who were the bands playing that first night?
Yeah. So the first night we had No Resolve, followed by The Lonely Ones, followed by Alien Ant Farm, and then they were followed by Soul Asylum. And I'm sorry, that was on the Bud Light. Who's on top?
Who's on top?
Who's on top stage?
which is basically their second stage.
Their second stage, yeah. We kind of figured that out at the end, or by the end, like the main stage, second stage, that sort of thing.
Yep.
And then on the Boneyard that night, there was Moon Fever, September Morning, Gemini Syndrome, and Widow 7.
Yeah, so like you said, we were there for a little bit, checked out the grounds, and then took off, went back.
Yeah. We were there probably for a couple hours, I would say.
Hour at most, I'd say.
Oh, really?
We weren't there that long.
I thought maybe it was more than a
we
couple
got
hours.
a beer and cheese curds and walked, and that was about it.
Okay.
But yeah, fun time though. I think I was just done driving and wanted to be done with the night, so I was just ready for the next day to start.
Ready for the actual festival.
And like seeing the lawn chairs already set up so close was already a little bit of a disappointment.
Yeah, I guess on Wednesday night were there lawn chairs set up on Wednesday night?
There were a few people who had
Okay.
lawn chairs, yeah.
Okay. But what I did see, and I was going to mention this, is like as we were walking through the grounds, is there was like orange lines across the field or the grass. And I knew then, I was like, that's where the lawn chairs are going to be.
All the way up to that wood fence for the reserved lawn.
Yeah. So it's like basically there's like a path, like it's kind of a road, but it's more like just a walking path through. Like from there forward, there was just like lines.
Yeah.
So all the grass was just full of lawn chairs.
By the end of it, for sure.
Yeah.
By the end, yeah. Anyway, day one, Thursday.
Yes.
Thrash the Titans. The main reason we were there, they were first, so let's go check them out.
Yeah. I think there was somebody on the main stage first, and then they played, but we wanted to get there early so that we could make sure to see
See their whole thing.
all three of their sets. Yeah.
So I guess let's go through the lineup then for
Sure.
that first day.
So on the Who's on Top stage, it was Scattered Hamlet, Ghosts of the Mississippi, Eva Under Fire, Vended, Mushroomhead, The Ghost Inside, and Rebel Queens. But Rebel Queens was like one of those late night bands that went on after the main stage was done for the night.
Their start time was 1 o'clock basically.
Yeah. On the Boneyard, so something we didn't mention is like the Loud and Local, the Boneyard, and the Jack's tribute stage. A lot of the bands had multiple sets.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So they were short sets, but they were multiple sets. So on the Boneyard stage, Mag Dillon had 2 sets. I say it as Merle, but it's MVRROW. I don't know how to say that. I apologize. But they had 2 sets. Weekend Picnic had 2 sets. And then another late night band was Dark Heavens.
And their sets would be back to back. So they get the first time slot, then the next time slot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like they play a headliner or a main stage plays. They play again, main stage.
And so on.
So on.
And something we found out, all of the stages outside of the main stage had stuff going on at the same time.
Yes. All 4 of those. Yeah.
Then when the main stage was on, there was nothing else going on.
Yes. Yep. No other bands playing.
Yep.
Then on the Jack's tribute stage, it was Thrash the Titans got 3 sets, and then Giznad had 3 sets that day. And those are the only 2 bands on that stage, but they played like how we said.
Yep.
Then on the Loud and Local stage, Saint Tragedy had 3 sets, and Carbellion had 3 sets that day. And then on the main stage, it started with Sin 7, followed by Fame on Fire, Suicide Silence, Orianthe, In This Moment, Ice Cube, and Pantera headline the stage.
Yeah, and as we said, we came for Thrash the Titans. Like, they're the reason we were at this festival.
Yep.
To see them again, to support them. Love those guys. So that was the main reason we were there. We saw all 3 of their sets.
Yep. We kind of ventured around between the sets a little bit. Like we saw some of Suicide Silence and
We did, yeah. We did see.
Yeah.
No, we definitely ventured around, but for Thrash the Titans, we were there for all 3 of their sets from start to finish.
Yep, we saw all of those. So.
And I kind of went into it knowing how they do their normal set, where it's, they're Thrash the Titans, they're a tribute band to the Big 4.
Yep.
So for each band in the Big 4, they play like 4 tracks or so, 4 or 5 tracks.
Right.
And kind of it's Anthrax, Megadeth, Slayer, Metallica, like boom, 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 boom.
Yep.
So it was kind of interesting. I was wondering what they were going to do. A part of me is like, they could do the exact same set for every one of their sets. Set list for every one of their sets.
They could like 1-1-1.
Yeah.
Or like play
one song from each band? Because they're kind of long songs, so.
One song, 1 to 2 songs for each
Yeah.
band type thing, right? Like you could definitely do that, and that could be a very reasonable explanation or rationale for why you're going to do it, because you have 3 time slots. Not everybody's going to come and see all 3 of your sets. They're going to bounce around, potentially go see somebody else who's on top stage, or the Loud and Local, or the Boneyard, right? So if you want somebody to have that ability to bounce around, you can give them the same set 3 times. But then by the end of it, people aren't going to necessarily come back, right? They did it where each set was different.
Yep.
No repeat songs. It was play a little bit here, play a little bit there, play a little bit there. And by the end, you got essentially a normal thrash show, but just split up.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Because their first set was Anthrax and Megadeth, and then the second set was Anthrax, Megadeth, Slayer, and then the third set was Metallica.
Yep.
So, yeah, basically that's what they do for their shows as well.
And I remember talking to some of them in between their sets where they're like, this kind of is hard because they get their energy up and then they're done and they have to like just wait around.
Yeah.
And then you got to get it back up again for the next set. And I guess I can see that being hard to do, right? Like you get in a mental state and sort of in a rhythm, and then boom, it's over, and you have to just chill out and relax and then get back to that same level. I thought they did perfect. They did great.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
It definitely did not show at all. But I can definitely see why that would be something to be concerned about.
Yeah, if you're performing and you have to be in that mindset, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, we were there to see them. It was awesome to see them. It was a great thing. Like, basically got a normal thrash, though, and it was fucking awesome to see.
Yeah, yeah. They had a huge crowd, too, which was really cool. Like, how we explained how the stage was set up, but, like, people were, like, outside listening. They were in, like, full inside. The bar area was all full, so it was really cool to see all those people. So
super awesome. And as you said, in between their sets, we would go out and wander and experience the main stage a little bit and then go back and check out their shows. Other bands that we saw after that, once they got done, then we kind of bounced around a lot more. We saw Vended, got to see them again.
Yep.
Saw them 3 times this year.
4 times.
We've seen them 4 times this year?
Yeah, twice with Bloodywood, Milwaukee Metal Fest, and then Rock Fest.
So 3 times prior to this. Sorry, that's what I wanted to say.
Oh.
We saw them 3 times prior to this particular performance.
Sure.
All 3 of those, they were openers, so they had a very small time slot. What was really cool about this is the second stages all got much longer.
They did, yeah.
Set times.
Yeah, they had like an hour.
Everyone did.
Yeah.
All 4 of the stages had like an hour in between.
Yeah.
And so we got to see a longer Vended set, which was awesome to see.
Yeah, that was cool. Because we haven't, like you said, we've seen them for like 30 minutes or 35 minutes, like at every single show. So it was really cool to see them with a longer set.
Yep. Hung back and watched In This Moment, main stage. Checked out Godsmack again. They're a Chicago band. We saw them at Reggie's earlier this year. Only saw a couple of their songs. It was really cool. Really good set. Or the songs we saw were really cool. Really good. So it was awesome to see them there again as well. And I guess that brings up my thought of, I'm really glad they did the Loud and Local and the tribute stage to highlight smaller bands that play these smaller clubs and kind of try to bring that feel and that atmosphere to a festival.
Yeah.
I've always thought like it'd be awesome if festivals could do this, or if they would do this. They can do it. They just don't. But expose fans to this style of music and this way of music and listening to it, of like, not everything you will find on the radio, not everything you will find in large venues. Some of it you have to seek out in bar venues, smaller clubs, and those shows are so much fun when you go to them. So support live music at all levels, from the top to the bottom.
Right.
Everybody's on their musical journey, working their way across the board. So
yeah, I feel like headliners definitely, especially at festivals, headliners definitely bring in the crowds. I saw that anyways. Like on Thursday, I felt like there was a lot more people there for Pantera than the other days. So it is good to, one, if you're a patron to these festivals, like show up early, see the smaller bands that are playing as well. But like you said, giving them a chance to be seen or like have these crowds as well is really cool.
Yeah, and then for the rest of the night, we basically watched music on screens. Like
Yeah.
we hung out outside of the Who's on Top stage and watched Mushroomhead.
Yep.
Hanging out with Jerry and Darla, and then other members from Thrash the Titans would come by and chat for a little bit, and then they'd bounce around. And by the end of the night, I think most people had
Yeah, I think,
regathered
like
around.
gathered right there. Yeah, yeah. Which we just kind of put our blanket down and just sat there. Like,
Yeah.
but it kind of worked out well because you could hear the Who's on Top stage and see the screens of the main stage as well from that area. So that was kind of nice.
Same within this moment, kind of watched that on the screens. Ice Cube, watched that. And then I can't remember who was, probably the Ghost Inside.
The Ghost Inside was probably playing, yeah.
And they're playing, and we're all just sitting there hanging out, chatting. And in the distance, you could see thunder starting to roll in.
Yeah.
And that must have been out to the west, I assume.
Yeah.
Whatever direction.
Yeah, probably west.
But so like out to the west, you see the lightning, and you're like, oh shit, that's working its way this way. And we're sitting there, and it's somebody's looking at radar, and like it's gonna start raining at 11, and that's when Pantera was supposed to go on. And cool, rain's fine, but the questionable thing was the thunder and lightning coming in.
Yeah, because you could see the lightning.
And I know here in the city, like baseball won't play if there's lightning in the area. Same with there was a NASCAR race. They wouldn't race if there was lightning. So it's like this could get shut down if there's lightning. And if it starts at 11, if the lightning comes in, depending on how bad it is, that's going to suck. Ghost Inside got done. Pantera's supposed to go on. Lou Brutus, who was there hosting from Loudwire, came on and over the intercom like, hey, there's lightning in the area. It's moving in. Pantera will be playing, but we can't go on right now. You need to leave. That's non-negotiable. You need to leave the viewing area.
Yeah, he said the seating area, which I don't know exactly what that meant. If that meant where all the launchers were or just like the area down front.
Yeah, I guess I don't know either.
But anyways.
And we'll call you back when they go on. So Thrash went to their van to wait it out, potentially. We were already iffy if we're going to stay for how much longer.
Yeah,
because it's 11.
It's 11, and we're seeing Pantera later. And already this venue, I'm like, do I really want to see Pantera from...
Yeah, and it's a 30-minute drive back to the hotel.
I guess it wasn't necessarily the drive or anything like that. It was, do I want to see Pantera in this atmosphere? That was my thought.
Gotcha.
If your thought was more on the drive and getting back to the hotel, then
mine cool. was for sure.
Okay.
But also like the venue was like but it would have been cool to like see. But yeah, so we just went to the car and sat there. It started to downpour heavily. A bunch of cars had already started to leave, and we're sort of in that like, all right, we're gonna wait till the exit line dies down, but we're not sticking around. We left probably 11:40ish or so.
Yeah, probably.
And
but you had and were we there when you looked at Instagram?
Yeah, we were there, and
okay.
Rockfest had said Pantera's going to start at 11:30.
Yeah.
And we're like, we're going to go. I'm going to wait a little bit longer and head out. And I think we did leave about 11:40 or so.
So they must have been playing. I didn't hear any music, though.
I didn't either, so I don't know if they had started or not.
Yeah. But
or if it was like, come back at 11:30 and we'll start soon after that.
Maybe. I mean, a lot of people did leave, but if a lot of those people were going to their campers until the end of the rain, all those people then had to go back through security. So they might have been like, okay, 11:30 we'll open the gates back up or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we'll start at 11:45 or something. I don't know. But then they would have played for 2 hours, so then it would have been 2 a.m.
Yeah, very true.
But our friends did stay and saw it.
Did they stay for the whole thing?
I think so.
Okay.
And they said it was really fantastic and amazing.
Oh, awesome. Good to hear. So yeah, that was the end of day one. Highlights for you for day one?
Definitely seeing Thrash the Titans and just hanging out with them all day. And then seeing Vended again was really, really awesome.
Yeah, same. Those are definitely my two biggest highlights for sure. Day two. Let's get into day two then.
Yeah.
Want to start with the lineup, I assume?
Yeah, we can start with that.
This was Friday, July 14th.
The Who's on Top stage started with Artifice, Emperors and Angels, Saul, Crowbot, Jinjer, and Flyleaf with Lacey Strum. Boneyard started with The Alchemist got 2 sets, Normandy got 2 sets, Kingdom Collapse, Versus Me, and then Late Night Band King's Country.
Those last ones just getting 1 set each.
Yes. Oh, yeah, sorry. If I just say their name, then they only got 1 set each. The Jack's Tribute stage was Shotgun Superstars got 3 sets, and Sons of Guns got 3 sets. And then the Loud and Local, we had Lost in a Name got 3 sets, and Contingency had 3 sets. And then the main stage started with Nuisance, Gideon, Cherry Bombs, Wage War, Ice Nine Kills, Falling in Reverse, and headlined by Slipknot.
Yeah, and so of these bands, we saw Emperors and Angels, Lost in a Name, Cherry Bombs, Saul, Wage War, Ice Nine Kills, Jinjer, Falling in Reverse, Contingency, and Slipknot. Most of those we saw the entire set. The few of them we didn't.
Yeah.
Real quick, I guess, just jumping ahead. Falling in Reverse, there's a little bit of drama and whatnot that went along with that. We were going to do a 666 on it, but we talked for way too long. So there's a whole little encore episode that we're going to.
Yeah, I think it's like 45 minutes or something. So yeah, we talked more in depth on that.
Yeah, so we're not going to really talk about that at all during this particular episode, but if you want to check that out, we'll throw a link up or some shit like that.
Yep. So what do you want to talk about first for Friday?
I guess we got there a little late. We saw Emperors and Angels. I really enjoyed that set when we saw it. That was up at the Boneyard.
Me too.
Not the Boneyard, the Who's on Top.
Who's on Top, yeah. And we saw quite a bit of that. Did we see the whole thing?
I said we did, but we didn't see necessarily all of it. We saw a good chunk of the set for sure.
Okay, yeah.
And then we sort of just wandered around. We did go check out the merch for Slipknot there.
We did.
Down at the main stage merch. And I think this was something you brought up as a potential dislike you had. Why don't you describe the merch a little bit?
It's not really a dislike I had. It was more of it's an inconvenience to the people who are there. Because the main stage merch was 4 windows, I think.
Something like that,
in this little building. And basically every window had a different band in it.
So they had like a little sign up under each window, which was like, this is Slipknot, this is Falling in Reverse, this is X, this is Y.
Yeah.
Kind of cool that you can just like look at, oh, here's the name I need, here's the window I need to go to.
Right. But even like when we got up a little bit closer, you can kind of see that they're like individual like sections within this building.
Yeah.
So it's not like a normal, I'm saying normal merch, but like I keep saying normal. What an average concert has where like you have all your merch in one area. We have been to shows where it's like individual.
It is really weird because like the Radius does that where they split it up and each band gets their own merch table. And it is a not disappointment, but it's not, it doesn't go as smoothly because I think as you're trying to get to is you get in one line, you get your merch for that band. If you want multiple bands, you now have to get in multiple lines.
Yeah, that's what I was going to. Yeah, like I guess when I think of like when we went to Milwaukee Metal Fest, they had all the merch in one area. I'm trying to think of all the merch that we've done this year. We've done a lot, but Shine Down, it was all in one area. Yeah. And then so on and so on. But then like we did go to like Wage War at what's that venue called? The Concord. We went to Wage War at the Concord, and that was individual merch as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, we've been to shows where it's individual merch, but I don't know. This just kind of it seemed inconvenient to me, but maybe I just thought it was inconvenient because of how long like the Fallen in Reverse line was.
Very long.
It was
fucking
so
line.
long, and in my mind, I'm like, if I wanted Wage War, Fallen in Reverse, and Slipknot, and I had to wait. I mean, Wage War was pretty short. We could have went over there, no problem. I have plenty of shirts. I don't need another one. And then they had so if you wanted Wage War, you had to wait there. Then you had to wait in Fallen in Reverse, and then you'd have to wait again for Slipknot.
Yeah.
And to me, that's just inconvenient. If you have this many bands, I think they advertised as 75 bands or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Which not every band had merch, and it wasn't all at this stage, and blah blah blah. Like there's lots of things to it, but to me, it was just kind of inconvenient to have
each individual band in a line.
I would agree with that to some extent. Like, it's definitely inconvenient.
I just had a thought.
What's that?
Do you think venues that do it this way or individual setups, like Concord, how they have individual, do you think that those are the ones that don't take a cut of the merch where, like, maybe, you know, like Milwaukee Metal Fest, maybe they did because it's all in one area, so it's like kind of like a, we sell your merch for you, so...
It's, I don't know, it's interesting. It could be, because the ones where they are individual, it's sort of, House of Blues is the same way. It's individual merch in that back area here in Chicago, but it's their people working.
Right, that's
section.
what I mean. Yeah. So,
but like this, it's.
I mean, we don't know. I'm just bringing it up. It just popped in my head while we were talking about this.
And I don't know, Milwaukee Metal Fest may have done something where, again, I don't know the inner workings of how that all works, what goes on behind the scenes and whatnot, but it did seem like they had special, unique shirts made for some bands for that one show. That prior to that fest, on their Instagram, they did show, Milwaukee Metal Fest did show their shirts being made. So maybe there was some kind of contract that they had where, with the manufacturer of the shirts being like, can you also do this band for X dollars or something?
Yeah. I guess I didn't really care about the manufacturers of the shirt. I was just meaning about the venue cuts. I think we did 666 on that, like on.
Yeah, I guess what I was
cuts.
Thinking of with the manufacturers, maybe Milwaukee Metal Fest had a deal with somebody, and they basically went to like, hey, Shadows Fall, if you want to do a shirt, we can get you this rate for that shirt.
Oh, okay.
Type thing, like a bigger deal. Like if we buy 2,000 shirts, we get a discount. But if we buy 10,000 shirts, that's an even bigger discount.
Yeah. I guess, that's a different story, I think, than selling the merch. But yeah, I get it. Anyways, that I don't know where we were.
Yeah.
Oh, because you said that we wait in line for merch. So
yeah, but no, that's an interesting. I don't know the.
Sorry, there's a lot of noises today in Chicago.
Yeah, I don't know the inner workings that goes on behind the scenes. I'd love to know more about that and how it's all operating. Because I mean, shows are a big moving, like there's a lot of moving pieces going on there. So. And from a fan perspective, you only see one small aspect or a very few small aspects of it. So it would be really cool to know and understand more of that. Other than that, Cherry Bombs were on the main stage.
Yeah, that was right after we got done with getting our merch, right?
Yeah,
as we were walking back, Which we've seen Cherry Bombs before.
We have,
with In This Moment at the Radius. And I like their performance. I don't like their performance being at a metal show, honestly. It's like a dance, interpretive dance with metal music.
Yep.
But at a festival, it makes sense if it wasn't on the main stage. This is because I feel like it would be something that could be on a second stage where if you want to see it, go see it. If you want to see a band perform, go see that. Where on the main stage at this particular festival, this was the only thing happening while they're performing.
So seeing them on a show, I like them too. I think they're extremely talented women who are up there, like the dances they're doing, the moves they're doing. There's so much talent and skill that goes into doing that. I'm not trying to like talk that down at all.
Yeah.
And I don't think you are either.
No, it's just not what I want to see at a metal show.
Right. At a metal show or at a concert type approach, I'm fine with seeing them. I think it'd be really cool to see them as the in-between as they're tearing down the set, maybe up there as like entertainment for that aspect. Like that'd be really cool.
Kind of like a second stage thing?
Yeah, sort of. For a festival, I agree. Festival would be really cool. Main stage, I'm fine if they're on the main stage. If there's more going on.
Yeah.
Like if this one, the main stage was it. There was nothing else really. You can go up to the freak show. There's other things you could do if you wanted to. But in terms of music and musical entertainment, there really wasn't anything else going on outside of the main stage.
Yeah, I guess that's the point I was making is like for this festival, I'm cool with them being at a festival if there's something else going on.
Yeah.
And that way, if you want to see them, you can. Otherwise, you can go see another band perform. I guess in my mind, if I'm going to go see live music, I want to see live music. I don't want to necessarily see people dancing.
So then what if they had like a instrumental group behind them?
That would be really cool.
Okay.
And like with the first time we saw them, I don't think we ever posted that episode.
We did not, no.
I think it turned out
bad.
Yeah. But even the first time we saw them, like when they came out and danced, or when the first group came out and danced, I was like, oh, the band's going to come out soon. Like the whole time up until like the third song, I think. And then finally I looked at you. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? But the whole time I thought that a band was going to come out and perform. I think that would be really cool. Like, I mean, performers do that all the time, right? As we record this, Beyonce's playing. I'm sure that she has dancers, but they have her singing. Oh, is that to backup tracks though? I don't know how Beyonce performs.
I'm sure she sings it herself.
What I mean is like the music. Is that a backing track or is it?
I would assume so.
It's
I don't know.
They don't have like a band with her.
They might. I don't honestly know. I could see them having a band.
Really?
Yeah, I could.
I'm trying to think. Like even at like the Super Bowl, they never have a band, do they?
Sometimes they have some people playing instruments. There's a lot of backup dancers as well, but every now and then you'll see like.
But anyways, that's the whole thing I'm trying to explain. We don't go to those concerts, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm trying to explain is like if there's a band playing and then they play, so or they dance.
Other noticeable things for me for this day, Saul, another Iowa band. It was really cool to see them. It sounded like they had some struggles getting there, but they got there and they put on a great performance from what we saw. Yeah.
And I used to listen to them, and then I kind of just stopped listening to them. I don't know why, but I'll definitely be picking them up again.
And then Wage War, the pit ticket, the pit tickets we bought.
Yes, yeah, the only pit tickets we bought for the whole weekend. So,
$20, and I don't know if we said this, but each band that had pit passes that you could buy, the price was varying depending on who the band was. I can't remember what all the prices were.
Yeah, I don't know if we said that or not, but. So while we were watching Saw, we left like maybe 10 minutes before they were done, or 5 minutes maybe before they were done.
Yeah, we left a little bit before it was done. I don't know exactly what time. I thought it might have been like 15, 20 minutes.
Oh, see, I felt like we saw more because I think we left 15 minutes before Wage War was supposed to go on.
Okay.
So it would have been like 5 minutes before Saw was done. Anyways, so we left because I didn't know how the pit worked. And in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to be standing by the sound stage or something for Wage War because I was so excited to see them again. So we left and then we end up leaving and then going and there's a line. So they obviously must clear out the pit completely and then you have to like re-enter.
Yeah, it definitely had that vibe. Even if you had like the 3-day pass, it was like you got to get out and then re-enter.
Yeah.
It was a really cool entry getting into. I really liked because you're going down this walkway that goes under the sound stage, so it's like you're kind of going down almost into like a tunnel and then back up into where the pit is, and it enters right under one of the main catwalks, like the center stage catwalk, and then stage left, stage right had their own catwalks too. So once you're up there, you can either go left or right and find your spot from there. And then the pit itself was really, really cool. We've never done or been lucky enough to do the Metallica Snake Pit, but this is kind of the vibe I've always imagined it would be. You are down a little bit lower than normal from a stage, or maybe you're not. Maybe like Aragon you like because the stage is really high up.
Yeah.
So I think it's venue by venue specific, but this one you are down low. Like I think I'm 6 foot tall and my head was barely at the top or where the base of the stage was.
Oh, okay.
And then the catwalks, were under or over us for sure. And you're really close. You're really intimate with the band. It's a really cool area. I did really like being down there. I just wish I could have been down there for everything and not just the one-off bands I bought.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really cool that when the band performed, they could use the catwalks. And, like, so basically they're, like, over you. They're, like, walking, and then you're, like, looking up at them, and they're over you. That was really cool. You are really close to the band. At first, before we got in there, I was like, how's this going to work? Like, am I going to be able to see? Like, but then once you're in there, you can tell, like, what it feels like, and you can see the stage and everything like that. That was no big deal. I had a lot of dislikes about the pit, though.
How so?
Mainly the crowd aspect. So we didn't mention this with Thrash the Titans, but we found out during that not really found out, but just how the security acted. There's absolutely no moshing, crowd surfing, movement of any kind that could be considered that at this venue.
Yeah, with Thrash, they had the circle pit going for one of their shows. I can't remember what set it was. I think the second one.
I think it was the second one.
And a security guy came in, kind of stopped that, and then just stood there in the middle of the floor staring down Matt, yeah. And it's like, come on.
Yeah. So I was super excited to see Wage War. We saw them at the Concord this year. We've seen them. This will be the 5th time we've seen them, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
But we saw them at the Concord, and that crowd was amazing. Like, you're basically just, you go where the crowd goes. And I love that. That was like so much fun.
Yeah, they're not necessarily my favorite band. I know they're one of your favorite bands right now. They might be your favorite. But that show at Concord was so good because of the crowd.
Because of the crowd.
And like, it feeds the band feeds off the air energy, then the crowd feeds off the band's energy. It's like this, we talk about all the time, it's like cyclical, environment, this thing that you are a part of. And that definitely was missing from this show. It was a little disappointing for sure.
Yeah. So anyways, I was excited to see Wage War again, and I wanted that crowd atmosphere again. And I even told you probably even before we went up, like after Wage War, like I'm going to need to like cool down, like, all that stuff. And it wasn't like that at all. Like basically everybody just stood in their spot where they found a spot when they walked in and just stood there. A lot of people with their arms crossed. Some people singing, some people moving, some people headbanging.
Yeah, there was some jumping going on, but not much.
But it wasn't what I wanted.
No,
it wasn't that
agreed.
movement.
Yeah.
But even if somebody initiated that movement, there was 6 security guards just in our little pod, little area. They would have stopped it right away.
They probably would have, right?
So it's like, what's the point of spending money to be near the stage when I could do the same exact thing?
Yeah.
I mean, granted, you get to see the band closer, but you could do the same exact thing behind the lawn chairs.
Yeah, part of the thing we love about live music, at least me, and I think you're the same way, is the crowd energy, the crowd feel, the organism that is the crowd. And when you don't get that definitely sours our mood on a show. Like I said, Wage War, not my favorite band, but that Concord show was so fucking good because of the crowd energy and the crowd feel. So, yeah, it's disappointing when you don't get that. And like we said, the lawn chairs for us zap that energy instantly from the back.
For the whole venue though, like even during Death Roll, Cody's like, "Oh, we normally ask for a circle pit. Like if you have a shirt, spin it above your head or whatever."
Yeah.
It was like, granted, some bands could play up to the crowd being able to do nothing, but it's a different atmosphere.
Yeah, for sure.
But anyways, what I was gonna say is like, for me, the pit was not worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I get the energy wasn't there. It's not the energy I wanted, but the viewing aspect and the feel down there was worth it. It was worth $20 for me.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I would have liked it to be better, but I'm fine with paying the $20 we paid to get that experience.
See, I don't think I would even pay $20 again to see it.
Yeah, I don't know.
We did it once, I guess, so.
I mean, that or behind lawn chairs. I would rather be there.
That's
Even
true.
without the feel you wanted, it was still a better feel and vibe than it was behind the lawn chairs.
Sure. I just don't want to pay for it.
It also then started like raining a little bit. I didn't feel like it was pouring by any means. I thought it was just like a light sprinkle.
I mean,
a little bit more than a sprinkle, but not a pour.
So my head and my shoulders were completely soaked before we got done. So
were they?
Yeah.
I guess I didn't feel that. Once we left, then it really started to come down, and that's when I got the most wet. Yeah.
I mean, I remember my shoulders being completely soaked. My hair was completely soaked. So you have no hair, so you wouldn't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It was the rain didn't bother me at all when we were down there.
No.
But we did leave here and go back to our car to kind of wait out that rain spell that came through.
Yeah.
Also, I think to get our blanket too.
Yeah. Because we didn't carry that with us the whole day.
Yeah.
It was basically just for the evening to sit down.
Changed shirts, got our blanket, had a couple drinks, and then went back in to. I think we came in for Ice Nine Kills.
Yeah. We stood at the Who's on Top stage to see Ice Nine Kills because Jinjer was going to go on.
Yeah, we wanted to see Jinjer, so we wanted to be in that little area. The one thing that was really cool about the Who's on Top stage also is they had the ceiling fans.
Yes,
So
yeah.
like, you could stand there and get some nice cool.
You could actually feel it,
Yeah.
yeah. Because sometimes with ceiling fans, it's like you can't really feel it at all. But here at this stage, you could.
Yep. Finish up with Jinjer. Awesome set to see. Head down to Falling in Reverse, and like we said, they did a whole episode on that. Checked out some of the other side stages and whatnot, and then got ready for Slipknot.
Yep.
Found a spot way in the back behind a bunch of fucking lawn chairs, and sat there for Slipknot.
We stood there for Slipknot.
Yeah, we stood there.
You always say stat.
Sat as in like found a spot, and that was us.
Okay.
Like we didn't move. We sat our feet down.
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't know. Yeah. The one thing that I noticed right away, I think the banner was up for Slipknot, their like backdrop before it all starts. And you were asking me like, what's their opening song again? It's AC/DC. And I was like, yeah, for those about to rock. And then it's going to be boom. And that's going to be the start of the show. And I can't remember what song it was. It was some 80s like pop song or some shit. I can't remember. But I was just sitting there like I wasn't even paying attention. And then boom.
Yeah.
In the middle. It was like so abrupt, and I did not expect that at all.
Yeah.
I really liked that.
Oh, you liked it? I felt like it was out of place or something. I don't know. Like that it messed up or it was out of place.
I liked it because, I mean, it's kind of fun when, like Metallica, right? Ecstasy of Gold kicks on, the crowd cheers, the lights go down, you know what's going to happen next. So you're starting to build up. This was, I'm expecting something, and then boom.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
Oh,
that's true.
shit, it's starting now. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, let's go. Let's stand in our spot for.
But it did make me excited for a little bit, and it's like, oh, we're not going to do anything. But it really pissed me off also because it was not the Slipknot concert I wanted. It was very boring and lame back there, watching basically Slipknot on a screen.
Yeah, like even if you were there at 11 o'clock in the morning, you could get your lawn chair as close as you possibly could, that sort of thing. It would still be boring. Like you're still standing in front of a lawn chair, not in a crowd. I mean, you are in a crowd, quote unquote, but it's not like the Slipknot crowd that
you don't get the energy, that bouncing and all of that. Yeah,
that we like and are used to. And I mean, I don't know how many times we've seen Slipknot, but we're always near the stage. I mean, pretty close to the stage.
Or the pits when they open up, like being on the side of the pits for those are a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it's just that crowd movement makes the Slipknot concert for us. And this was not. We just didn't have that feeling.
Yeah, and it was very disappointing because this is the only time we're going to see them this year. And their new album is so weird and different than anything they've done. I was so excited to see how they intertwine this into their normal set. And there's like just so many cool nuances and places they could go with it. Like I think the intro to Yin reminded me so much of the Grateful Dead's drums when they play that live. Just like the ambient noises and the weird places you can take it. It was like, oh shit, I never actually thought of Slipknot doing something like that and then going into like something crazy heavy. Like this would be so cool and eerie to experience and see how they take it, their interpretation of something like that. And I got a little bit of that with Yin, but then it was like, but I'm back here. I'm not feeling the crowd aspect of it and how they're vibing to it.
Yeah. Like, even if you're in the pit, though, I wonder how the pit was for that. If, like, people were... Because I think the line for that was a lot longer than Wage War. So it might have been fuller.
The line was crazy fucking long for Slipknot. It was, like, all the way from where it entered all the way back up to the Who's on Top stage.
Yeah. So I don't know if they had a little bit of movement or anything down there. But for me, seeing Slipknot, never actually seen them, like, in an atmosphere where it's, like, on a screen.
Yeah.
Well, I guess maybe a little bit at like 2016 Chicago Open Air, but we weren't watching the stage anyways. There was so much crowd stuff going on, like we weren't watching the stage.
The crowd surfing, the pits, the crowd movement, like there was just so much going on that like
But anyways, so when we saw it in this moment, I liked the screens for that because they were able to zoom in on Maria and like show the like what was going on, like with the hands and like the dancers and everything. And that was really, really cool. Like that's not something that you normally see when you're at a regular show that doesn't have a screen or anything, like because you're just viewing what you can see from the crowd.
Yeah, and that's definitely one where the the stage performance goes into it a lot, and so
Yeah.
does Slipknot. Right? There's one of the reasons I love them so much is because there is so much going on stage at once. And I guess you can film what's going on better and see it from the back, I guess. But the other thing I like about it is, depending on where I'm at in the crowd, will also dictate what I'm going to pay attention to during that show.
Yeah.
Therefore, making every single show unique and special. Which is, again, one of the reasons I think they're one of the greatest live bands ever, even. Like, if you can see Slipknot live, see them live. It's such a great fucking show.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was very disappointing. It really started to piss me off being back there and not being able to experience the show like I wanted to experience, or I had hoped to experience.
Right.
And we even left a little early. We thought we were leaving, like an hour before?
I thought that they had only played for an hour and they got an hour and 50 minutes. So I was like, oh, like we're probably halfway through. And we only left because we were bored.
Yeah, basically.
To be honest. I was like pretty much just turning around, like looking at people, like what's everybody else doing? And I was like, okay, I'm bored. Like, let's go, basically. Well, I never said let's go. I think you're the one that said like let's go. But yeah, but we ended up leaving with only 3 songs left. You said.
Yeah, I think there was only like 3 or 4 songs left. There wasn't that much.
Yeah.
Again, it didn't start till 11. Like, it's such a late time slot for a band, I think. But that plays in again to the whole it's a camping thing. Yeah. So I don't know.
If you're just walking to your camper, it doesn't matter if you get done at 12:50.
Yeah. I mean, all in all, highlights for me, definitely the side stages. Again, Jinjer, Saul. I enjoyed the pit at Wage War. I know you didn't.
It's not that I didn't enjoy the pit. It wasn't the experience I wanted.
Fair. Okay. Fair.
So let's just put it at that. Like, it wasn't what I was expecting.
Yeah. So, I mean, those were the highlights for me. How about you for day 2?
Yeah, definitely seeing Wage War again. I mean, I'll see them anytime that they come around. Seeing Jinjer was amazing. And we're going to see Jinjer later on this year, but it's going to be a short set because it's an opening set. It's
going to be the reverse of Vended the day before, right? Where we've seen Vended as an opening slot a few times this year, and you get 20 minutes.
Yep.
You get an hour. Now we're going to do the reverse with Jinjer where we get an hour, and now we get 20 minutes. It's going to feel a lot different.
Yeah, it's going to be really weird. So, a fun memory from Jinjer was the sound check at the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
It was in Ukrainian.
Yeah.
That was fun. I don't know. Like, that's just a fun memory that the guy came out to, like, do the sound check, and it was all in Ukrainian. And it was just like...
It's like check 1, 2, but it was like the Ukrainian word for check and 1 and 2.
Yeah. And it was like, we could learn some Ukrainian right now.
But it's also like, I've never thought about how does a foreign band do sound check. I always like...
Check 1, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah, like, isn't that what you always do?
Yeah.
Like,
which
weird.
Makes me really think... I mean, Wacken's on my list. I really want to go to Wacken sometime. So it's on my list where I'm just like, that's going to be so many international bands. Yeah. That'll be really, really fun to like kind of see how each band does it.
Yep. Yeah, and that's day 2. Another 30-minute drive back to the hotel. Punch it into Siri, and every time we went there and back, we tell Siri where we're going, and she would give us a different route every goddamn time. Yep. I don't know why. I don't know how. Yeah,
this one was weird because like at some roundabout that we were supposed to go around, like she wanted us to turn right at that roundabout, and I'm like, no, we're supposed to keep going straight. Like I remember this. It was really weird.
All right. Saturday, July 15th, day 3.
Day 3.
Why don't you start with the lineup on Who's on Top?
Yep. The Who's on Top stage started with the Soap Girls, Silver Tongue, Dayseeker, Sleep Theory, Dorothy, Everclear, and then a late night band was Ratchet Dolls. Oh, I just realized Friday didn't have late night bands. So Slipknot was the end.
Yeah. Oh, weird.
Interesting. Okay, anyways, sorry. Then on the Boneyard, Drift started with 2 sets. Lovely World had 2 sets. Relent had 2 sets. And then a late night band was Citizen Kane.
Real quick here. I think the 9:50, the Radiant second slot, was actually Citizen Kane.
Was it?
I think so. I thought I remember being in there and them saying we are Citizens Kane.
Oh,
Thanks
okay.
for checking us out.
So
So
that might have changed.
Yeah, I don't know for sure. This is just what's on their website right now. But yeah.
Okay. Jack's tribute stage, the Hybrid Theory had 3 sets, and then Old Voltage had 3 sets for the day. So the tribute stage had 6 total bands with 3 sets each for the whole weekend. So, and then we get to the Loud and Local stage. Started with the Over Unders with 3 sets and Scarlet with 3 sets. Then with the main stage, it started with Bourbon House, Plush, 10 Years, Guar, Highly Suspect, Papa Roach, and headlined by Godsmack.
Yeah, this day was, I don't want to say interesting or weird. We were lazy. We didn't get up till really fucking late.
Yeah, I don't even think we left the hotel until 11:30 or 12.
Yeah, we didn't get there until 10 Years. They were the first band we saw was 10 Years.
Yep.
Then the Hybrid Theory, we saw their third set. But I guess before that, you went down and saw the end of their second set.
Yeah, I saw. So they ended their second set with Numb, and I saw that. But
Yeah.
that was it.
Then over to Lovely World, Scarlet, Dorothy, Citizens Kane, I think, like I said, Papa Roach, Old Voltage, and Scarlet. We saw a little bit more of their set too. So not nearly as many bands this day.
No, that was our own fault though for being. Well, and I even technically saw a lot less than that because I.
Oh shit! I didn't even say Guar. We saw Guar.
Oh, we did see Guar. Yeah, like the whole set of Guar, I think, if I remember.
Yeah, we did. Yep.
Yeah. That day we took the blanket. Did we take the blanket in right away, or did we go back and get the blanket?
We went back in the middle of the afternoon. Yeah.
Okay. But I really enjoyed it. It was such a nice day, and I really enjoyed. I just put the blanket out, and I just kind of like sat and listened to all the stages around because you could hear the main stage, and then you could hear like the Loud and Local stage, and then the Boneyard.
Yeah.
And mostly the Loud and Local stage, but it was really fun just to like kind of sit and listen to people play in the middle of the grounds.
I mean, I'm fine with blankets going, and then you can make that same argument then with lawn chairs. Like it's fun just to sit and enjoy the music where my lawn chair is, and it goes back to what we were saying earlier about upheaval of, yeah, but have a designated area. Let me get close to the stage and be in a crowd atmosphere if I wanted to, and then have a designated area. Like that would have made this a little better for sure. So I mean, all I'm trying to say is like, that argument is one you could also make then for why lawn chairs are good at a festival like this.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we did do too, right? Like we took the blanket, we put it off to the back, off to the side. So people who wanted to get closer in front of us, like we knew we were in their way. So that way they could.
Yeah. We weren't like trying to be as close to the front as possible with our blanket or anything. We just kind of like sat back on the side with it. So
we spent a lot more time this time. I think this was our first day, honestly, going to the Boneyard and the Loud and Local.
Not the first time because we did the Loud and Local on Friday during Falling in Reverse.
Oh, we did. Never mind. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, but the Boneyard, this is like the main time. We walked through there, I think, once.
The first day, yeah.
Yeah, but this was the main time that we
actually stood and watched.
Checked them out or whatever. So.
Highlights, I guess, for me for this day, like I said, the side stages for sure. I mean, that was the highlight all weekend long, like all the side stages. Hybrid Theory, that was a lot more fun than I expected.
The Hybrid Theory. We never saw a Linkin Park show. It's one of my regrets ever. But I envisioned this as being like at a Linkin Park show. Like the crowd was, moving as much as possible, jumping up and down and stuff. But
there was also crowd surfing, a unique style of crowd surfing that I don't think I had ever seen, where they start in the front, pick you up, and then you crowd surf backwards.
Yeah.
I've never actually seen that done that way.
And security never came and shut that down.
They did not, no.
So,
but that was like at the very end of the set too.
Yeah.
But that was the only crowd surfing I saw, and it was interesting and fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, and it's an interesting thing you brought up about never seeing Linkin Park, that we never got to do that, and it really sucks. But that's then where tribute bands, I think, really shine, is you want to pay homage and honor to the band and the music that has such a great impact on you as a musician, and share that with the world for the people who never got the chance to see that. Slayer, I think, is a good one of those. And I was talking with Eric about this the first time we saw Thrash of the Titans, of like, you're never going to see Slayer again. So the goal is to put on a performance that would be worthy of a Slayer show, or as close to it as they can get.
Yeah. That's true. I really like the Hybrid Theory performance because there's a lot of times where the band wasn't even singing and it was just the crowd singing.
Yeah.
And there's a YouTube, well, it was a concert. I think it was like a benefit concert or a memorial concert when Chester passed away. But basically it's, is it Numb that they sing? No, in the end they sing, I believe. And it's, the band's just playing and it's just the crowd singing. And it's really cool. Yeah, it's really, really cool.
The crowd was really good for this performance for sure. Bouncing around, as you said, to the best of their abilities. Beach balls came out and they were bouncing those around. I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
People were enjoying the beach balls a lot.
Yeah. I don't know. The whole beach ball or balloon thing that happens during concerts, I find myself focusing on that more because I get really anxious where I'm like, oh my God, if it comes to me, it comes to me. I have to like hit it. I have to hit it. I have to hit it. And then like I'm focusing on that and I'm not necessarily focusing on the performance. I'm sure I'm the only person that has a problem with though.
No, I also focus on it, but that's why I like it, is because now it's a unique thing for that live show. It's like it's one of the aspects, like you don't know what you're going to get with the crowd, right? So
yeah.
I do enjoy a lot of times when I see live music, I spend a lot of time watching the crowd around me more than the performance sometimes.
Oh, okay.
And I enjoy that a lot. Any other highlights for you for this day?
No, I mean, like I said, like I just basically sat on the blanket most of the day and enjoyed the music, which was fantastic. Yes, I guess to your point, I understand how people could just like sit in their chair or whatever, but people aren't doing that. They're like leaving their chair like they have a spot.
There
like
were
dibs.
There were a lot of times you'd walk by the lawn chairs and it was just row and row and row of empty lawn chair, which was very annoying.
Yeah. So it's like, and I definitely wasn't doing that with the blanket. I don't think anybody there that had, well, there's some people, I guess, with blankets that kind of put out their spot and it's like, this is my spot. But anyways, whatever.
I don't know. We did leave early too. Papa Roach gets over. We kind of hang out. I said I want to go check out some of the other side stages around us, waiting for Godsmack. Went down. I hit a wall. I could not wake myself up for some reason, and I think I came back to our spot where you were, and I was like, I'm tired. If you want to go, I'm fine with going. Let's go ahead and take off. But first, let's go up to the side stage real quick and watch that. And I think when I said that, you're like, all right, let's go ahead and go. We packed up, walked over there. And that's when I finally started to wake up. But I think you were starting to like, my body's charging off now.
Well, no, I wasn't saying like I was ready to go. I was expecting to stay for 4 or 5 songs like we did with Slipknot. I kind of knew we wouldn't stay the whole time just because we didn't like how the main stage was set up. And it isn't enjoyable to watch music on that stage or whatever.
Yeah, not for us for sure.
I was okay going because I thought that you really wanted to go. Like I could tell like how tired you were. So I was like, okay, well, let's go then. Like that's part of being in a relationship is you kind of do something that you the other person wants to do. So I then, not that I got irritated, but you weren't leaving. And I was just like, okay, so what do you want to, like...
Gotcha.
You said you were ready to go, and then you would just, like, walk around, and we weren't actually leaving, so...
Yeah, I don't know. You're right. The vibe from Slipknot the night before, really kind of put me in a sour mood, and, like, I didn't want to watch anything on the main stage, honestly, because I hated watching stuff on the main stage, because it was just not fun. So, by that point, I was over it, and it's like, we're going to leave early anyway, let's just go ahead and get out now. I'm fine with that. Looking back, a little disappointed I couldn't wake up and I did want to leave. I wish I would have woken up sooner and I guess communicated a little better, but yeah. Oh well, it is what it is. We took off and that was the end of Rockfest for us.
Yep.
Talking about it, I guess positives for you. What were positives overall for the overall festival?
Overall, we talked about this sporadically through, but positive for me is
lots of things. I actually really enjoyed the festival. The side stages being covered, I really enjoyed that for the rain and the sun. The food and beverage lines most of the time was not long at all. I think before Godsmack, we did get like a soda, or before Papa Roach, we got like a soda, and I had to wait 5 minutes maybe. But otherwise, like comparing it to like Line Fest, where you're waiting in line a lot, like that, there was no big deal there. I liked that when you're in the venue, you're in the venue. So you could go to your car. You could, I mean, if you're camping, you can go to your campsite, like whatever you want to do. Basically, like unlimited reentry. Now, we never tried to leave the grounds.
Yeah.
But like once you're in the grounds, then you're fine. Yeah, I think that's.
I mean, the music, right?
The music
overall.
Yeah. I guess I was just going from a venue setup.
The music, I mean, even the stuff on the main stage was great music. We didn't enjoy the way we had to consume and then view.
The viewing aspect,
View it. But the music there was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, I thought the lineup was really good that they chose.
All the stages were so good.
Yeah.
Seeing that band's got multiple sets, so you could bounce around. And if you missed their first set, you can make their second set, for example.
Yeah.
Might not be the same set list. It might be the same set list. If it is, oh, well, you like, whatever. You get to bounce around. You get to see a little bit of it. I did enjoy that a lot. And the music as a whole, just so fucking good. What we saw, anyway. The food cheap and lines were short.
Beer prices were really cheap.
Like $6 for a beer, like crazy cheap.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about that either. Every bar went to a charity. Like if you tipped, that tip went to, I think there was like an animal cruelty shelter or something. There was a
anti-animal cruelty shelter, not an animal cruelty shelter.
I guess so. Yeah. For the cats and dogs, money for the cats and dogs. There was some kind of foundation. The Loudon, not local, the tribute stage was for a baseball field.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I can't remember what all of them were, but like, that was kind of cool to see. Like, we're helping the community out with this festival.
Yeah.
The grounds overall were very well put together, I thought.
Yeah, it was put together really well.
Really enjoyed that.
And it flowed really well. Like, they had a process for everything, which was really cool. Like, when you parked your car, they had a process for that. When you went through the gates, they had a process for that. Like, it was just like everything just worked really well when you're trying to get in. At least for us, it did.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody else had some different viewpoints, but even leaving the venue, they had 2 lanes, and one lane you could go right and one lane you could go left, and it was very easy.
Very well organized. Staff was fucking phenomenal all around. I mean, we talked about not being able to mosh or get the pits. That sucks, but that's... They didn't allow it. Whatever.
Yeah.
But the interactions we had with all of the staff from top to bottom was great.
Yeah.
Great people all around. But yeah, mainly for me, it's the music, the grounds, and the staff. But it was great. Great. So many good fucking things to talk about.
Yeah. I really liked the festival, except for the cons that we're going to talk about.
Yeah, and the negative, the main one, obviously, the lawn chairs.
The lawn chairs.
The fucking goddamn lawn chairs again. Just the sheer number of them and how much royalty they got. Like, there was no pit. Yeah, and the biggest negative being the lawn chairs and how much royalty they had, and just it really killed the mood for us, for sure. And fuck the lawn chairs. Even if they had their own space, I still think I would have been pissed at them.
You think you would get mad?
I think so, yeah.
Like, in my mind... Maybe if they could be on like one side of the soundstage and the other side is all standing or something like that.
That might work, yeah.
Because then they're not in your way at all.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Stage left is seating. Lawn chairs. Stage right is fucking go at it.
Yeah. And like let you do something.
I could get behind that. I would try that out.
Yeah, because then they wouldn't be in the way at all if you're just on that side of the stage or whatever. So I don't know. It'll definitely be something... Going forward, every festival that we go to, we will look to see if lawn chairs are possible.
Yeah, and like I said, like I was fine with upheaval because you did have the little section. I didn't like it. I hated it. But I had that little section. If I wanted to, I could have got up.
Well, at the time, we hated it. But now that we've seen another aspect where they take up all the space, I feel like we've changed our mind on that.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like I was fine with it for upheaval because you had that designated spot for them. now seeing how they just take up everything, I'm like, I'm done with lawn chairs at all costs. Like if a festival says we allow lawn chairs, I'm out. I'm not going. Thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah. I think a negative was how the main stage was set up as well, with the pit area, how it was, and then those wooden benches, how they were, and then obviously the lawn chairs. But I did not like the main stage setup at all. It was not enjoyable to see any set there.
Yeah, I didn't like it either. But again, what would it have been like without lawn chairs? I can't answer that question.
Yeah.
It may have been better. It still would not be my favorite by any means, but it's something I would have been more acceptable of if the lawn chairs weren't there.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. We don't know since we've never seen it without lawn chairs.
The only other negative I have, honestly, is the fact that when the main stage was on, it was the only thing. I don't have another stage to go to that if I'm not into the music or I'm not feeling it, or I'm not feeling it because of the lawn chairs, I can now go to who's on top stage and see a performance the way I want to see a performance there.
Yeah. I get it, because I think even the hybrid theory, they mentioned, I think, where they were like, because I think War was on right after them, and they mentioned like, who's gonna go see War? Like, we'll be done before then because we're not gonna compete with them. Which I get that. I get the whole, not having anything on when the main stage is on because they're like the bigger acts or whatever. But I also agree. We've been to festivals where they do have multiple stages, like Riot Fest, where they have 5 stages and 2 of them are going at once. So if you don't like the stage you're at, walk to the other one.
Yeah, exactly.
So I agree there too, where it would be nice to have something else to do.
A little more staggered for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you needed to have all 4 of the side stages going at once. Like if you had 3 and then 2, maybe that would be a little better. I don't know.
I do like what you said. I don't know if we put that as a positive or not, but I do like how like the tribute stage and the loud and local stage and even a couple performances on the Boneyard were 2-2-2 or 3-3-3.
That was nice. There were smaller bands too, yeah.
Yeah, like just what I mean is like, so you could go check them out. Like we could go check out Hybrid if we would have got there early enough, like Hybrid Theory, and then go check out the Boneyard or whatever, like check out multiple things and not just see one band.
Yeah, I guess we didn't bring that up as a positive right now, but yeah, that's a very good positive. And like I said earlier, the fact that they are smaller club-y bands that you're not gonna see at like an arena show necessarily. So it's really cool to incorporate all types of live music at this one festival. That was really cool.
Yeah.
But that kind of goes back to the music. The music itself is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really all I had for negatives. I don't know if you had any other ones.
No, my only negative was the lawn chairs and the main stage.
Yep.
Honestly. Otherwise, everything else was absolutely fine.
So then, I guess in conclusion, the lessons learned: if you're going to a camping festival, try to camp.
Yeah. Which we do have a couple on our horizon for the next, I don't know, many years out.
Yeah,
but
that we want to go to.
That we want to go to, like a goal to go to. So we will be purchasing the camping equipment. We won't be doing like the whole RV camping or whatever, but we'll purchase camping equipment to go.
Like tent camping and whatnot.
Tent camping, yeah, that's what
That's the thing. I would not pull a trailer behind us. I also don't really drive that often.
You don't drive. I will not pull.
So you will not pull. So we're not doing a trailer camper unless we I don't know if you can even rent and have one delivered. I don't know. Maybe.
All right, go ahead.
So then let's get into the rankings of this festival. My rankings, we've only been to 8 so far through our concert going career.
Concert going career.
Yeah. I have number 1, the greatest festival that we've ever been to, in my opinion, Open Air 2016, 2017. I kind of combine those because they were essentially the same thing, just different bands. Then I have Milwaukee Metal Fest, this year's. Riot Fest, with the caveat that we have the VIP tickets for, as you said, getting into the shade and all of that. And that's the lowest level. They do multiple tiers. We don't do like the cabana shit.
No.
Denver Beer and Metal, that was a lot of fun. That's number 4 for me. Followed by Upheaval. We talked a little bit about that. Lala, last year we went to go see Metallica. Lala's Lala, not, whatever.
Yeah.
The Picnic Festival in 2016, we went to go see the Lumineers. That was our first concert in 6 years or so. So it was fun to go back.
7 years.
In 7th place. And then last but not least, in my last slot, I have Line Fest or Not Fest, Iowa.
And I have everything the same except for Riot Fest and Milwaukee Metal Fest. I flipped.
Okay, so you have Riot Fest number 2 and Milwaukee Metal Fest number 3.
Yep.
Where would this fall in line for you?
Ooh. Maybe under Milwaukee Metal Fest for me. So mine would go Chicago Open Air, Riot Fest, Milwaukee Metal Fest, Rock Fest, Denver Beer and Metal, Upheaval, Lala, Picnic, Line Fest.
So you have Rockfest number 4.
Yep.
That's much higher than I have it, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I'm somewhere in, it's gonna fall in 6th or 7th spot. I think I'm gonna go, it's gonna be 7 after Lala.
I honestly enjoyed everything except for the main stage.
I did too, but that put on such a damper on my mood. Like, even, I don't think I brought this up, but during Thrash of the Titan, in between their second and third set, we sat there, I think for Suicide Silence or something, and we're sitting there, and I honestly had the thought of, like, after Thrash is done, we can just leave, and I'm perfectly fine with that. This is bullshit. I'm not having a good time. But then it's like, well, but we need to see Vended. All right, after Vended, but in this moment, we'll check that out. Fuck it, we'll stay for the whole thing, but I'm not going to be happy about it, type thing.
Yeah. Can I move mine?
Sure. Where do you want to put yours?
Under Upheaval, I think.
Under Upheaval?
Yeah.
So in 7th as well.
Yeah.
Nope. All right, hold on. So yours will be 6.
So, and the reason why I'm moving it is kind of what you're saying. Like, if we go back, which we probably won't, but if we would, I think I would be unhappy again.
Yeah.
Because of that main stage.
Yes.
Like how the main stage is set up. Like everything else I loved about it. I don't think I would be happy seeing the main stage.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, the music was so good, the staff was so good, the grounds were great. Like, everything about this was good. Even if we camped, I would have had a lot more fun than I had. But that main stage would have just been such a damper for me.
Yeah.
That like we said, Slipknot, one of our favorite band, like one of my all-time favorite bands, one of the bands I think is the greatest live band of all time. It sucked. It was a shit fucking show because I couldn't experience it with a crowd feel to it. Like, that's one of the things that makes it so good. Like that's what makes live music so good, is the community with the crowd, and like, you didn't get that here, and it pissed me off so much. Right. But you brought this up. Are we going back?
No.
I don't think so.
See, I say no, but watch, like in 5 years, we'll be doing another Rockfest podcast and be
maybe.
like,
I doubt it. I mean, like we said, there's so many.
Yeah. There's
metal just rock festivals out there. Like, Danny Wimmer has like 7 of their own.
Yeah. And I want to do like I said, Whacken.
Yeah.
Hellfest would be amazing to do. Like, these are big festivals because we'd have to go overseas to do them. But.
And there's smaller ones too. And we just found out about one in Houston.
Yeah.
What, I can't even remember what the fuck that one's called.
I don't remember, but it almost seems like a Milwaukee Metal Fest type festival, where it's like it's smaller, but like the lineup seems almost like what would be at Milwaukee Metal Fest.
So I mean, there's so many out there that I had such a bad time at this one. I don't think I'm going back.
No, there's so many choices, and I think that's the thing. And we kind of had this with Upheaval last year, which we never posted that episode, but it's like there's that weekend there's 3 choices. Yeah. Because there's Rockfest, Upheaval, or Incarceration. And honestly, now I kind of wish we would have checked out Incarceration because it's like, that it's the same weekend. Like, that might have been better. I don't know.
And I mean, some people, this is their festival. This is the one they love. Yeah. This is one they always go to.
And there is a community, like, it seems like a social media community where they all got together and, like, had like a reunion on like the Wednesday before or whatever. So that is really cool to have that community because you don't always get that. But for us, it didn't pan out like that.
Exactly. And we've said this before at other festivals of like, hey, you have to buy tickets before you know the headliners or any of the bands. And that like sucks. Like, how do you know you're going to enjoy it?
Yeah.
Like, they sell
like
out.
2024 sold out for VIP or for the reserved seating or whatever.
And the pit, I think, too. So like, that sucks that you don't know who's going to be there. It might be a complete dud show. I doubt it's going to be.
I doubt it, but
you have to. And the counter to that is right after Open Air 2016, we were like, doesn't matter who the fuck's here next year, we're going.
Coming. Yeah. No, you're right. Like, we were those people.
So Now I like to see who's going to be there before buying.
Yeah, but that's because we also have a lot more options now.
Yes.
Like where before it was like, okay, we could only go to what's in Chicago, and now we're like, we own a car. We can go wherever our car can take us. So, anyways.
Yeah, agreed. I don't think I'm going back to this, but the music was fucking phenomenal. The main reason we were there, all the 2 to 3 really large negatives for us really ruined this. Otherwise, it would have been very close to the top of my list for sure.
Yeah, totally.
But this isn't our thing. If it's your thing, own it. Fucking, that's awesome.
Yeah, keep going every year if you enjoy it that much.
Yeah,
I mean,
live music is amazing. You're gonna like it. You're gonna like some stuff. You're gonna not like some stuff, and that's fine. That's part of art and music. So if this is your thing, fucking awesome. Do it. Not ours, but what is ours is live music. We fucking love live music. Hope you do too. Go out and find some live music.
Bye.